Hello, I welcome you all to this channel. Here in this video we are looking at mathematics paper 1. This was a 2024 GCE question paper. The time here it was supposed to be answered within 2 hours, and the total marks that it was carrying, it's 80. Okay, so the instructions to candidates, especially number 3: answer all the questions. You answer within the space that's been provided. Okay, so this was the first question. Evaluate 8 over 27 raised to the power 2 over 3. So how do we answer this type of question? So we have rules under indices, and this rule here that we can use, if you have, let's say, b raised to the power a over c, this one we always, so when there is a fraction as a power, you introduce the square root symbol. Then the number here, the c, comes here, and then you introduce brackets. Then the number that's on top here as a numerator comes here. Then your base now is what you put here. So this is the rule that we are going to use to answer this question. So this being the base, 8 over 27 is the base. So we immediately here introduce the square root sign. So your base is 8 over 27. So you're going to write your 8 over 27 inside. Then the denominator is 3. The denominator of the power is 3. Introduce your brackets. The numerator is 2, which comes here. Okay, so this one you can do it straightforward. You find the cube root. So this 3 tells you that you are finding the what? The cube root. Okay, you are finding the cube root. So what is the cube root of anything? So the cube root of anything is just a number that you multiplies itself 3 times, okay, to get this. So we can simplify this. Maybe we say so this applies for both the numerator and the denominator, so we can put it like this, 8, okay, over 27. So 3, we just separate them, the numerator and the denominator, and this also applies for both the numerator and the denominator. So we do this 2, then we do this again, we put a 2 here. So what's the cube root of 8? A number that multiplies itself 3 times to give you 8. It is actually 2. When you multiply 2 by itself 3 times, you get 8. So here we are getting 8. So this means that the cube root of 8 is what? It's 2. Okay, so the cube root of 8, it is what? 2. But remember, there is a square, so the square will follow, over, what's the cube root of 27? It is actually 3. So 3 multiplies by itself 3 times to give you what? 27. Okay, it gives you 27 when it multiplies itself 3 times. So 3 by 3, that is 9. 9 by 3, that is what? 27. This means that the cube root of 27 is actually what? 3. So we say 3 raised to the power 2. Then what are we going to have? 2 squared, that will be 4. 3 squared, that will be 9. And we cannot reduce this further, okay? So our answer will just be 4 over 9. Pretty easy, okay? So if you're not sure how to answer this, just check through my videos. There's a video I taught all the principles and the rules that you need to follow under indices. So just check the video in my channel on indices. You're going to understand how I was using all these. Okay, so let's go to the next question. So the next question was saying simplify this. Okay, we simplify this. Okay, so we have to simplify. We clean this. We have to simplify. We have 4 in brackets x minus 2 plus we have 3 in brackets 2x minus 3. So here we just need to expand this times this. This will give us 4x. I don't know if it's the typing error. I'm seeing there's something here, but it's not quite clear. 4x. This times this, that will give us minus 4 times 2, that is 8. Plus 3 times 2x, that should give us 6x. Okay, minus 3 by 3. This ought to give us 9. Here we collect like terms, 4x and 6x. So you have 4x plus 6x. Then you have negative 8, negative 9. 4x plus 6x, that is 10x. Minus, that is 17, because when you have different signs you add, and this cannot be simplified any further. Okay, but I have to look at the other question and show you on this part that is here. Okay. Okay, so question 3, solve the equation this is equal to that. So this is straightforward here, we don't need to waste much time. So you have 3x minus 5 in brackets, you have x plus 2, x plus 2 so for this one, if you try to start expanding here, you will get to a point where it will take you to factorization. At this point you can just separate this equated to 0 and this also equated to 0. So you have 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. Then you say, or since these are the factors, this has already been factorized. These are the factors, so equate them separately. So you have 3x is equal to 5, taking it this side will give you positive 5. Divide both sides by 3, divide both sides by 3. This cancels out, so x is equal to what? 3 into 5, that is 1, remainder 2 to 5. Then this side, taking the 2 this side, you get x is equal to negative 2. So this means x is equal to negative 2. Or this one, you can leave it as a decimal if you so wish, but I'll leave it as it's 3. The numerator was 3. This was supposed to be a 3. Okay, so but these are the answers for this particular question. So let's go to the next question. Factorize completely 7x squared minus 7. So to factorize this completely, first of all, we're going to factor out the 7 because this is what is common. You remain with x squared minus 1. Here you apply what we call difference of two squares, where you make everything in the brackets. Make sure that everything here has a square of 2. So we're going to say 7 out. So that will be x squared. X already has a square. Now when we say 1 squared, we don't change anything here. We haven't changed anything. So difference of two squares. Now when you find that everything in the bracket has a square, here's what you do. Very simple. You write x minus 1. Okay. You open again, the same thing, but just the opposite sign now. And this is your answer. So this is what you're supposed to do. Okay. So the answer was 7 in brackets x minus 1 in brackets x plus 1, and that was all. Okay, we go to question 5. Use set notation to describe the shaded region. Again here, very simple. You notice A has been avoided. Okay, and when A is avoided here, you already know that this will give us a complement. So already you know that you are expecting to have a complement. The complement simply means do not shade A, and you've seen according to this Venn diagram, A hasn't been shaded. Then what has been shaded here is actually B and C all together. So this tells you that there's a what here? There is a B union C. Now how do you combine these two now so that it makes sense? A complement, correct? B union C, okay? So this you're going to write it as A complement intersection B union C. So you've seen the way you're getting your 2 marks. Okay, very simple and straight forward. Okay, we go to question 6. So this paper was quite easy. A businessman got 800 shares worth 7,000. This is just something you can use even your general knowledge. Okay, for this type of question you have to use even just so a businessman. So if you're told that 800 shares are worth, okay, 800 shares are worth 7,200 kwacha. What was the cost of each share? This is very simple. Okay, you can just do this. Okay, what about one share? Will cost how much? One share will cost how much? You put X there. 800 shares are costing this much. One share will cost how much? You cross multiply here. 800 by X, you get 800 X is equal to 1 by this, it's 7,200 kwacha. Divide by 800. Divide by 800. So these zeros can cancel, these zeros can cancel. So you're just dividing 8 into 72. Okay, so 8, you know that 8 by 8 is 64. We know that, eh? Shall we know that 8 by 8 is 64? Because here is paper 1, you're not using calculators. So if you add another 8 here, this will give you 12. So 2 carry 1 and 72. So this tells you that 8 can go to 72 9 times. Okay, so this means that one share was only costing 9 kwacha. You do this, 9 kwacha. Okay, and that was question 6. You're done. Okay, you go to this one, very straightforward as well. The sequence 20, 17, 14 is an AP or arithmetic progression. Find the 9th term. Very simple as well, finding the 9th term. So we have the formula Tn is equal to A, okay, A plus N minus 1 D. So what do these mean? A means the first term, or what we call T1. The first term, what we call T1. So this is T1, this is T2, this is T3. So you're finding the ninth term here, you're finding T9. Okay, so the ninth term you're finding what? T9. So this means for this particular question, our n is 9, since you're finding the ninth term. Then we also need the first term we already have. The first term, T1, is 20. And then we need to find D, the common difference. So D is simply equal to T2 minus T1. So you have 17 minus T1 is 20. This gives us -3. Okay. So we know that D is -3, and we can now use the formula. So term number 9, which is Tn, will be equal to first term is 20 plus n, which is 9, since we are finding ninth term, minus 1, -3, which is your common difference. So this will be 20 plus 8. 9 times 1 is 8. So this will be 20 plus 8 by 3, that is -24. Remember, positive and negative, what happens? Positive and negative multiply, but the answer will always be negative. So you get -4 as your answer. So this is your ninth term, -4. The other question says find the sum of the first 10 terms. This uses a different formula, not this one. Okay, so let's look at what formula will work here. So for the sum, we say Sn is equal to n over 2. You open large curly brackets, then 2a plus n minus 1, okay, d. So the formula is a bit similar, so you need to memorize these formulas. So n, so you're finding the sum of the first 10 terms. So your n is 10, and then 2, so that would be 2 times a is the first term, which is 20, plus again n is the number of terms you're finding, so 10 minus 1, and then d is -3, just like that. Okay, 2 into 10, 5, 2 by 20, 40, plus, that is 9, we know that. We carry on, 5, that is 40, 9 times -3, that is -27. You subtract 40, subtract 27, Okay, so when we borrow 1, this one here will be 3. This will be 10, so that is 3, so that's 13. 10 minus 7, that is 3. 3 minus 1, that is 1. Okay, so 3 minus 2, that is 1. So this has given us 13. Now what is 13 multiplied by 5? This times this, that is 15. So 5 carry 1. This times this 5 plus 1, that is 65. 65. So what does this tell us now? This tells us that the sum of the first, that's an S that I'm trying to write, the sum of the first 10 terms is 65, and that is the answer to this question. Pretty much easy and simple as well. We go to the next question. Okay, a fair die is rolled once. Find the probability of a 4 showing up. I'm going to answer this one. I'll answer the next one in my next video. So we'll answer this. So a fair die is a die that is unbiased. Okay, find the probability of a 4 showing up. So a die has got one side is 1, the other side there's 3, the other one is a 4, the other side has got 5 holes, the other side has got 6 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to find the probability of a 4 showing up, so the probability, so it's a very simple question. The probability of a 4 showing up is actually for you to get a 4 here, these probabilities, they all have equal chances of actually showing up. They have an equal chance. Once you roll it, they all have an equal chance of what? Of showing up. Okay, so meaning once you roll it, it can either roll on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so since there are 6, so we're going to say the total here happens to be what? 6. Okay, that's the probabilities, and each have an equal chance. So probability of a 4 showing up, for you to get a 4 or showing up, since all of them have an equal chance. Why am I saying they all have an equal chance? Because the dice is actually fair. So I'm sure it's just a type error here. They meant to say a dice, a dice. So these have an equal chance of actually showing up, since the die is fair. Okay, so since they all have an equal chance, okay, okay, so they have a fair chance, so this will just be 1 out of 6. Okay, because it's being rolled once. Okay, and you might get any of these, okay, so 1 over 6, and that is the answer. Okay, so for the next question, I wanted to solve it in the next video, but let me just quickly answer it. In the diagram below, ABC is a straight line, AD is 5, BD is 13, and you have an angle BAD here 90 degrees. Find the value of tan DBC. So you're told to find the value of what? Tan DBC, which is this. So we know that tan theta, when we do SOHCAHTOA, it's just adjacent over hypotenuse. So tan DBC, so this one here. So what we are going to do here is first to say, okay, if we have our theta here, Okay, we have our theta here and we used tan. You're going to have opposite and the hypotenuse here. Okay, so if we were to use tan here, I'm going to say opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, then looking at the question here, knowing that we are not even given the values here and we can't perform the tan without using a calculator, so tan dBc, we're going to say that tan dBc is actually equal to 180 minus the theta. Okay, so I'm going to say tan dBc. So 180, why? Because they said it's a straight line. A straight line adds up to 180. So we say 180, okay, minus this theta. Okay, now this theta, since we have opposite and add, this is an opposite and this is hypotenuse. We have opposite and then we have hypotenuse. So we use the saw, which is sin theta over hypotenuse. So remember here I'm just using SOHCAHTOA. So I'm using so, okay. So the theta here, it's going to be theta is equal to sine inverse over opposite is 5, hypotenuse is 13. So this is the theta, which is the theta, which is this one. So tan dBc will just be 180 minus sine of inverse 5 out of 3. If we had a calculator, this would have been something simple, because we would have did the operation here, sine inverse 5 over 13 to get the answer. Okay, it would have been very simple, but since we don't have a calculator here, I would leave my answer just here. Okay, so I hope to see you in my next video. We'll start from question 9 as we going forward. Okay, question 9 going forward. Okay, I think we can start from question 9 in the next video. So see you in my next video. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, invite people to subscribe as well, give us that support.